I wasn't
in
at
Parliament.
the scene, and I didn't also watch a comprehensive video of what happened. So it is just pockets of reports that we are all picking. And for me, what happened yesterday was unfortunate. It shouldn't have happened. But I think that as a democratic country, we have accepted the 1992 Constitution and other legislations as the guiding principles of our democracy. Unfortunately, I've not had so much information about the first to seventh Parliament in terms of these kind of mishaps, but at least the eighth Parliament, that we had a lot of serious disagreement leading to unfortunate situations like this, starting with the election of the Speaker of Parliament on the 9th of 7th January 2021, and subsequent disagreement. I remember when a CI was supposed to be laid and people physically prevented the laying of the CI and causing commotion in the chamber. So from the 8th Parliament to now, I think that these things have happened. They are not acceptable. But I'm sure it is because we ourselves don't apply ourselves to the rules that we set for ourselves. Because ever since the Appointments Committee started vetting the president nominees, I think the highest number of nominees that have been vetted in a day is 3 or 4. And according to the minority's version of the agreement yesterday, was that they were going to vet 3 ministers, as it has happened previously. And then the clerk, I'm sure through, this is the minority's version. I mean, because when there is a conflict, everybody will have his or her version. The clerk to the committee decided to advertise for the vetting of 8 nominees, which has never happened. I mean, sometimes the essence of vetting is not to disqualify people, but it's to open up and let people know who your ministers are. And that is why even the standing orders of Parliament itself requires that when the president nominates somebody for a ministerial position, you advertise it for 2 weeks so that people can send petitions and all manner of things on the nominee, so that you can grill or you can squeeze the nominee on the petition and memoranda that you have received. Because once you are nominated to be a minister, you become a public entity or a public figure, and people need to know. And I mean, scarcely do you have ministers being disqualified through vetting and through Parliament, but at least it exposes them for the public to make their own judgment as to the personality and the characters that have been put in government. That is the essence. Most of the questions that have been asked these nominees do not stop them from becoming ministers, but at least it gives some value judgment in the minds of the Ghanaian people of who your minister for finances. When Atufosun was there, he was vetted. Several questions were asked. Me sitting here, I mean, it gave me a value judgment of the guy, his experience, as far as the workings of that ministry are concerned. I mean, I get the impression or the feeling that he's fit for the job. Other people have their value judgment on his personality and the personality of other nominees. So, if it is the case that you agree to vet 3 people, and the clerk, without the consent of the minority, goes to advertise for 8 people to be vetted, it is foul in the first place, and it doesn't engender consensual building. So you have started on a fault note that I don't matter, that you can do whatever you want. And my brother, ask yourself, when have we had the situation that 8 ministers are vetted in a day? Can you do a good job? Can you do a good scrutiny of the people? Can you expose them and let Ghanaians see their capabilities and get a value judgment on them?
But the same committee that you're talking about decided not to even ask a single question of the Greater Accra Minister nominee.
Well, that is their position.
You get the point I'm making?
Yes.
Your point is that there is an objective. There's a reason why the vetting is conducted.
Yes.
So then I'm saying that the same appointment and confirmation committee can decide to do 2 minutes each if they so
if
they deem fit.
If they so wish.
That's the point I'm trying to make.
Yes.
So
there's nothing also wrong.
Yes.
If they spend so much time on a particular nominee.
Well,
it's their discretion.
Right.
It's their discretion. And you see, what baffles me is my colleagues in the NDC beginning to have problem with the longevity of the minority leader and the ranking member of the committee asking questions.
Yesterday he asked 187 questions.
But are you not in Ghana? Between 2021, when the appointment committee, Muntaka and Haruna, could ask endless questions. And it's part of the rules.
Fact. True.
Muntaka will take the nominee on for 2 hours, 3 hours. Haruna will come and continue 3 hours. They saw nothing wrong with that. I think this one self is mad because it's only Afenyo who is spending a lot of time. In the case of the NDC, when they were in the minority, Muntaka will spend hours on some nominees, and Haruna will come and spend hours on same nominee. Nobody complained. Why are they complaining? Is it not part of the rules? Have they, as the minority leader, broken any rule? The minority leader, who is the ranking member of the committee, has unlimited questions to ask. That is the rule. And the NDC, when they're in the minority, exercise that power under the same rules.
No, I mean, I have to refer to the facts, that's true. But the point I'm trying to make is, as parliamentarians, are you also mindful and conscious of how the public feels about keeping them behind their sets for 4-5 hours, interviewing one person, and sometimes, to be very honest with you, some of the questions, come on. I mean, can you sing this hymn? Can you do this? Which God you draw your inspiration from? I mean, why?
What you cherish or what you think is valuable may not be valuable to another person.
Come on, horrible. Anyway, I get the point you're making.
I'm just making a point.
That's the practice.
I may also personally have my disagreement or some questions that are being posed. Every individual, whether an MPP or NDC, will always have our disagreement with questions that are being asked as unnecessary.
Yeah.
I mean, that one you can't take away. But that is a person's way of, conducting his role. You may disagree, you may agree. But the point I am making is that the parliament itself has to be responsible. Otherwise, we are lowering the image of parliament. And when we do that, then we don't expect the public to give us the respect that we require, because we ourselves are devaluing ourselves.
Okay.
And so on this occasion, I think that the rules of engagement were not followed, because there has never been any occasion where you have an appointment committee vetting 8 nominees. So if it was agreed that 3 should be vetted, and they vetted as many as 5.
Okay.
I think vetting 5 ministers for a day was good enough. And the 5th nominee vetting ended at about 10. I personally think I agree with the UK system of parliamentary system, where MPs go to work during the day and come to Parliament. Parliament starts around maybe from 4, when most people are going home and they can follow proceedings, and MPs work at that time. I think if we have that kind of system, I would prefer. That is my personal opinion.
Yeah.
But where we have chosen to work during the day, and you work up to 10 p.m., and you have vetted 5 ministers, and everybody is tired, and you need to, subject the other nominees to good questioning, you need to go and rest and continue the next day.
Look, yesterday,
and so there should have been compromise. Mm-hmm. I think the majority stand on insisting that they continue was not fair, because if they had not insisted, probably they couldn't have put the minority to go to that extent of physically stopping the system.
Look,
and like I said, it is because of the precedents in the A Parliament. I remember, like I said, when they were to lay, the majority was to lay an ally for the EC. The minority then physically prevented in Parliament House, which is unlawful, because there's a procedure. Once government business must go on, they want to lay CI, you must allow the CI to be laid, and then there's a procedure you follow in rejecting it. But they physically said it will not be laid. So we are lowering the image of Parliament, both the minority and the majority, and both sides must be held responsible. I don't think that the actions of both sides is right, and normally it is the actions that suggest the kind of reactions you get.
Okay, now let's I have some information for you, and I'm sure that would be very useful to the conversation we're having. Perhaps it would enrich it. That's the point I'm trying to make. So Simmons, he's the dean of the Parliamentary Press Corps. So he's not a politician. He's a journalist. Now, he has provided us with this useful information just to help all of us. Now, this is what he tells me through this WhatsApp message. He says, "More, the order of appearance of nominees as agreed with the chairman yesterday. As agreed with the chairman yesterday. So two sides, minority, majority. So ranking member."
He said with the chairman.
Yes,
he
with the chairman.
Didn't say with leadership.
No, according to this.
He said with the chairman.
So I had to
So
ask
maybe he
him,
may have to clarify.
No, hold on. I had to ask him. Both agreed. And this is what he tells me. So let me read everything he just sent to me. Honorable Dr. Rashid Pelpo was supposed to be. So Honorable Dr. Rashid Pelpo, so Minister of Employment.
I was at the appointments committee to give moral support to Dr. Rashid.
Oh, he's a very good friend.
Oh, he's my senior brother.
Okay.
And coming from my region, and he's a good man.
Yeah, he is.
I don't support his party, but
right.
Once I'm in government, he has been given an opportunity. My prayer is for him to succeed.
He succeed. Okay.
Yeah.
There's Honorable Muntaka Health, Samuel Kujeto Ablakwa, Foreign Affairs, Sam George, Minister for Communications and Digitalization. And then there's Honorable Nikwe. Now, Honorable Nikwe is Joseph Bukari Nikwe.
Yeah,
Transport. And then Charity Gardner. Now, what happened yesterday? We only had Rashid Pelpo.
How many did you mention?
So that's seven, according to Simmons. So 7. But yesterday was only Kofi Adams, Nikwe, Sam George, and then Rashid Pelpo. The rest couldn't appear. The other 3 couldn't appear. It didn't happen. They appeared, but it didn't happen.
5 appeared, so it means 2 didn't appear.
No, so I don't know whether Charity Gardner was around, but
so
we saw 8. Kofi Adams.
That makes it 8.
No. 7. I've just given you the list.
5 appeared. Kofi Adams appeared.
Rashid
Pelpo appeared.
Okay, you mean before the committee?
Yes.
Okay, yes.
5
so 4.
appeared.
No, 4.
Yes.
4? Yes, because it was Rashid Pelpo, Sam George, Nikwe, and Kofi Adams. I watched 4, just 4.
Okay.
Yeah, but I saw Akando and Samuel Kujeto Ablakwa.
Okay.
In fact, they were standing there when the debacle ensued, and then they left. But as for Charity Gardner, I didn't see her. It's possible she was there, but I didn't see her. Then he goes ahead. So Simmons goes ahead to say that now these were the agreed lists, both sides agreed on, and same forwarded to the press corps. Do you get it? So the press, all we know is that 7 nominees were appearing before the committee yesterday. So using all the time to vet one person and time to ask the rest who were also penciled to appear to go home was unfair. So that's what he thinks,
But what I'm also saying to you is that the minority's version is that they had agreed to vet 3. They didn't agree to vetting 8 as proposed by the majority.
Okay.
It was the clerk who advertised this number without the knowledge of the minority. That is their claim.
Oh, I see.
I'm not there.
Because Ayariga's account sort of coincides with what what's the name? Simon is just telling me.
But
the point is that
there was
3, it was up to 4, and then 7.
If you recollect, when MPP was in government, and we were in the majority, when the leadership goes to meet, there are proposals that are brought forward.
Okay.
The minority will disagree with some of the issues, but the majority will still go ahead to put them out.
Okay.
I think that is the kind of situation.
Okay.
Because the minority position is that they did not agree to this number of people being vetted.
Right.
But it was still put out by the clerk to the committee, which means that the minority didn't consent to this number.
Is that information you have?
Yes. That is the position of the minority.
So you're saying that the minority is saying that the
7 or is it 8?
No, that's what
7. They said they didn't agree to the 7.
So you're saying that the minority, per what you know,
yes,
did not agree
to this number.
But it
was put out by the clerk to the committee.
But when it was put out, did they know about it? Because once it is put out, it becomes public information.
You know, before they go for these things in Parliament,
yes,
the leadership will meet and discuss,
yes,
and agree
in conclave,
yes, in conclave,
yes,
and agree on the terms,
yes,
of operations,
yes. And
so once you go and then they say that we don't agree to this number, and you still put it out, my position will still be that I don't agree to it.
I get it, but the point I'm trying, look, granted, what you're saying is even true, which is that what was agreed at conclave was not what was put out. Granted.
Not that agreed. I don't think that it was agreed by both sides. I think there was a disagreement. That is how I see it.
Okay, so
the minority says that they did not agree to
so there was a disagreement. So what you know is that, or what you're thinking, or what you are guessing is that there may have been a disagreement in terms of the number of people
in terms of the number, yes.
So perhaps a majority side would have said 7. The minority side would have said, well, let's go with 3.
Yes.
But the question I'm still asking is that maybe I will not be too fair to ask you this question because you were not part of those who took that decision. But the point I'm trying to say is that let's even grant it that later on or finally 7 names came out, and it was in the public domain. The press were aware. So I'm assuming that once the press is aware, the majority would also be aware. Did the majority, no, but hold on. But did the majority, for instance, say that, look, until and unless we're able to agree between the two of us how many we are going to be vetting, we're not prepared to be part of this exercise?
You see, there are rules and laws that governs institutions, but there's also always a culture component of that institution.
Yeah.
If you remember in the Parliament, there were a lot of things that were put on paper and brought before Parliament, and the minority would tell you that they disagreed on those things in conclave and they were not going to accept them. That is the culture of Parliament. So it's part of their culture.
So meaning that
the majority and minority, sometimes they build consensus, they agree on certain things. There are certain things they don't agree. And so, but the question I am asking is that, is it fair if you want our appointment committee to do a good job of scrutinizing the appointees, for them to start vetting after 10 in the morning and vet 7 nominees in a day? Is it fair?
Well, fairness is relative. But
here's the thing. Is there any history to that?
But Chinnia,
is there a precedent?
Isn't it strange?
Is there a precedent of where Parliament has vetted 7 nominees in a day?
Yeah. I can't quite recall. But the point I'm trying to make is this.
Normally it's 3-4.
Yeah, but Chinnia,
sometimes under the Parliament, there were days they vetted 2 people.
But Chinnia,
because Muntaka and Haruna spend the whole day grilling the person.
But Chinnia, listen to this, please. If indeed the numbers that we agree were 3 at conclave, they were vetting only 3 people, how come the minority side participated in the vetting of the 4th person and did not say that once, as far as we're concerned, we can only vet 3, so we'll not do 4, and so we're leaving? And again, if you listen to the minority, their problem at the time, the reservation they raised was not necessarily about whether or not this was not what was agreed. What I heard them say was that they were tired and that they were going. And remember that Ahiafo kept complaining about the fact that you can't keep somebody, and it had to do with Sam George. Sam George had been kept there for almost 5 hours. 3.5 hours of that 5 hours alone was for Afenyo-Markin. And he was saying that he was giving, Afenyo-Markin 3 more questions to ask, after which the session was going to end. And his reason was that they were tired. And so you would then understand why the minority was also saying that, look, if indeed the issue was that you're tired, then let's all go home. You cannot in one breath be saying that we're tired, and yet you want us to vet two more people.
Is it not fair on the minority side?
I can grant them that, but I'm saying that does not tally with the reason that you're giving. Your reason is that the reason.
It's not my reason because I'm not part of the appointments committee.
But you sounded confident about it.
We are all speculating.
Okay.
We are all
saying. If it's speculation, then let's take a break.
No.
If it's speculation,
we are all saying what we have heard.
Don't worry. I'll come back to you.
What was sent to you is the person's view. Somebody will disagree with it.
He's a journalist.
Oh no.
He's a journalist.
That is what he was given. But I'm also telling you that there is a statement by the minority that I'm privy to that they did not agree on this number of people.
And I just raised issues about your narrative. In fact, the reason you're giving me, and I'm saying that something doesn't add up. Let's take a break. When we come back, we'll come back to the issue. This is Good Morning Ghana on Metro Television. We'll take a short break. We'll be right back.